The Highland Hills tower, the skies. But the shadows they cast draw the spirits near. After all, tomorrow.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Wednesday night. You know, last Friday was absolutely amazing, and you know, we had to do another Wednesday night. I wasn't going to do a Wednesday night this week, but then I thought, Ken, something, I'm going to do a Wednesday night, because on Friday we're going to be talking about the Ed and Elaine Warren, and that's going to be quite a big live. That's maybe a 2-hour live because of all the footage and all the stuff that we've got.
You see the stuff,
ladies and But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I thought let's just quick the news, let it fill up. We're going to be talking about this very interesting castle, and it's oh my God's sake, here we go. Tantallon Castle, and we're also joined by someone that's been there and someone's experienced it. Lors, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No problem. We'll let it fill up. We've got 10 people watching the now, so I'll show a wee picture of the place that we're going to be talking about. And
welcome in, everybody.
It's a very interesting castle, this. I mean, I searched for castles. This is what I do. I make thumbnails up to. I've got another, like, maybe, as I was saying to Drew, I've got another 25 thumbnails made up, right, for different locations around Scotland. I know I'm terrible. I'm not. It's the energy pills. I'm telling you, it's the energy pills. And I must say, it's one of the most beautiful castles I've seen. I didn't realise it at the time. Here, it's here. I mean, look at that. You can see it's well defended.
I watched drone footage of it, and it's absolutely stunning inside. You don't realise that there's an actual big bit at the back that's actually still. It looks like it's maybe been maybe a big hole or something.
Well, I didn't know this at the time, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't plan for this. But obviously, I'm for Douglas, and Drew's nearby, and we go to Douglas Castle quite regular. It's known for the Black Douglas. And he was famous, and he fought with Robert the Bruce and stuff like that and all that. But I didn't know that he had a relative called the Red Douglas, which stayed at that castle. My God, it makes you wonder.
Brothers.
It's so, Lors, what do you know about this creepy location?
It's not so much and more what I know, it's more what I've experienced when I've been there. Right. My son used to love going to that castle a lot. When he was young, especially because it was a nice place to run around and burn off energy. But he had a couple of experiences himself, but because of his disabilities, he wasn't able to put those across particularly. I found some photographs of what I can only describe as, when I was looking back at them, you see him like looking up, like he's seeing something, and he was having conversations with somebody. I don't know who.
Well, I did my homework on this place, and there's been 2 photographs took of this castle with 2 sightings, and they've baffled scientists. Seemingly the first one, I've got them tonight to show everybody. You should see my computer hard drive. I've got to empty it every now and again for the sheer amount of photographs that's on here. But here we go. Where is it? I'll bring it up first, right? And we'll see if anybody notices it first, right? The first one's quite an interesting one. This was done in 1970. I think it was 4. This was 1974, which is quite an interesting one.
Oh, up at the window. Up at the window.
And I'll tell you what, here's a better one.
The old army clothing as well.
Whoa.
Where it's the kilt, and then they've got the shawl thing over their back that's got the fur and things. It definitely looks like an old.
Let's see. I've actually got this in
nobleman, or even a guard. It looks more like the guard, actually.
That's the wrong one. I've actually got the link for this. Actually, I'm away at the Pontefract Poltergeist there. This one was snapped, right? This was about 30 years ago. The photograph was a medieval castle. Let me see. I'm just reading it off the paper here. It was in 1977 by Grace Lamb of Edinburgh. It shows her late husband and children Paul and Kelly, well, they're still alive. Obviously, it's just her husband that's passed away. As you can see above, there's the strange. I tried to figure this out. I mean, it's. What do you think that is?
It definitely looks like an old soldier to me, an old Scottish soldier. What about you, Lars?
It's hard to tell. There's definitely. It does look male, but it's hard to tell from the. It's quite bloody, so it's hard to tell. But it definitely to me.
See, the far away one's a wee bit clearer with it. And it's. Do you ken what it reminds me of? A jester's hat.
See, that's why I thought it was a soldier, because if you look at the Scottish soldiers, they've got like the feather thing that sits right in the middle.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, that was the one done in 1977, right? Now, the one that made the papers that people can explain, and I don't know if this is in the same location where you 10 years, but this was done not that long ago. Let me see. I think this one, I've got everything piled on my iPhone here. This one was done not that long ago, actually. It was only a couple of years ago. So this is an interesting one. See if you can notice it.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Holy crap.
Away, that looks like Tudor all the way. Tudor,
it does look Tudor, doesn't it? With his wee thing, it looks like his ear. He was calling them air filters around folks' necks.
Yeah, he's definitely Tudored.
But it's just so weird. This
is that a dog or something standing beside him?
Well, I zoomed up and edited it, so let's have a look.
I don't know.
Oh dear.
That looks like a dog there or something, doesn't it?
It looks. Doesn't it
look at his face. He's looking right at the camera.
Do you know that this is baffled?
What's grumpy?
Honestly, this is absolutely baffled top people.
There'll not even be another side to there. That'll not even be a room.
Aye, that's a room.
Is it a room?
But no one can get into it because there's no stairs lead to it.
Right.
Because it's the inside of the castle's collapsed. So there's no stairs to it.
He's staring right at the camera.
I know.
Wow.
Do you know that top ghost hunters, mediums, there's even scientists, I think it was the University of Edinburgh, had went to this location and they could not figure out. I think
he's the Black Douglas himself. It just gives me that vibe.
Well, it might. See, Tudor, what time was the Tudor period run about? What time was the Tudor period run about?
1600s,
1516.
1516.
Right, so here's a wee bit of a brief history of the place, right? I'll just read this out really quick for everybody. It's one of the most dramatically situated castles in Scotland. The powerful Douglas family, the Earls of Angus, well, that's who's in my village, the Earls of Angus. The fortress at the castle dates about 1350. 3 centuries, the castle has served as one of the major strongholds, powerful Red Douglas family. The Douglas family rose to power and the allies of Robert the Bruce during the Scottish Wars of Independence. It's quite interesting because the castle laid siege. There was siege. The king, that laid siege thing.
Yeah.
This king obviously laid siege.
Cromwell's army. That's
castle.
what done it in. Yes. Was Cromwell's army.
And it's just absolutely funny. I've actually got a picture. See, I do my homework, ladies and gentlemen.
You never know when he's going to pull out the hat, Lars. Honestly, you never know.
Right. This
look at it in its day.
Aye. What do you think of that, ladies and gentlemen? I'll come to the chat in a minute, guys, so I can read all your comments, but I can't do it for here.
Let you understand, guys. See how that's all like one big wall. Inside that would have been like a little village. They would have had like the church and things. I'm just explaining to the guys that it's like a city within a city, a castle, if you don't know that already.
Well, it's actually quite interesting here. Experience the power, the influence. The Douglases had a good run, but in 1491, the 5th Earl, Archibald, Bell the cat. Imagine calling yourself that. Douglas plotted to hand over James V to Henry V of England. The plot was discovered, and James ordered him to exile at the castle.
Wow.
But he was no fool, because in October, the royal army appeared with James. The castle was blockaded by sea and land. So basically everybody was in there, right? They couldn't get out. Without grace, by effect, they couldn't take it. They could not take the castle. They tried and tried and tried.
Yeah.
And at the very end, at Christmas came, they gave up and said, right, I tell you what, let's just, just agree.
Too
Well,
cool.
it's actually because it's the Christmas, the king and the Douglas were recalled, and the Earl lived to, and then he died in 1513. His two sons died at the Battle of Flodden. Was that Flodden? And the year and the castle passed to another Archibald, the 6th Earl, by 1528. The 6th Earl of Angus. That was his relation. That's the castle that's right next to my house, his relation.
Easy, isn't it?
Aye. In Scotland, during the majority of this, James V held a young king about a prisoner at Edinburgh Castle. There you go, I didn't ken that. James escaped and gathered support for his assault on his former castle. That's very interesting. The Earl in the most powerful fortress, Tallon, for 20 long days, the Royal Artillery bombarded the castle, but it just could not breach the walls. The king withdrew. The Earl took his chance to flee the country, leaving the castle open. The enemy, James, damage done by his bombardment, the structured defences still furthermost. James' work was done. So basically, the castle fell into disrepair after that. It fell into, where are we? So we'll start from here. So that's obviously the aerial photograph. The location. And
so, Lars, how far can you get up to it?
It's been a while since I've been there, but you used to be able to get up so far up the stairs and then down to where the dungeons and all that are.
Can you, right? So you can actually walk on the grounds.
Well, you go in up the side and then you come round and then so you've got where you're looking over towards Bath Rock, you can get into the grounds there. And then you used to be able to go like upstairs and that so far. And then the dungeons and stuff were kind of, if you're facing Bath Rock towards you, the dungeons were kind of here and you went down.
Right.
But that was a while ago since I've been there, but it's got quite a lot of energy, the place.
A bit.
So that's just like inside it.
What did you all feel when you were there? Did you feel elementals and different things there as well?
It's a very wise ancient place, basically. There's a lot going on there. And it's got a really strong energy with regards to, there's a lot that's going on there with regards to I think a lot of deaths happened there and a lot of really serious things have gone down there. So like, I'm not a medium, so I don't pick up on all those types of things, but you just know when you're there, you're like, you just feel
strong
that.
enough, you feel it, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually, I'm reading here, it says the castle was once again subject to a siege. And this is maybe when you're picking up on all the deaths and stuff during the Civil War, when the Oliver Cromwell attempted to obviously attack at Scotland in 1650. A group of royalist moss troopers, I don't know what moss troopers are, but maybe Drew Engelsworth in the chat will know what that is. In 1650, royalist moss troopers occupied the castle to use as a base to launch swift attacks on Cromwell's supply lines.
Yeah, it was
so successful were the moss troopers that the Conservative Parliament report suggests that they had taken more men and done us more harm than the whole Scots army. Oh my God. The other garrisons in February 1651, Cromwell beside the castle and destroyed the once mighty defences, leaving the castle a shell. So in 1651, Cromwell decided, right, this is enough, went to the castle and took it out.
Yeah, I read that. And it's actually one of the last castles to be designed that way with the big
That's
walls because the armoury and things all changed from cannonballs and things to
Yeah.
higher and better artillery. So that's why the castle structure's
It's
all changed.
I mean, do you think you imagine, right? Imagine going back to, let's say, 1400s, right? And like you're the English army, and you're like, we need to take that, but you can't get up the cliff in
Yeah,
your ships. Obviously, you can only like maybe fire something at them, right? You can't get near it because the fortress. That's why it was impossible. But then
yeah.
obviously came the cannons. The cannons was the new invention of the time. Cannonballs and that, and that's
Getting
what
them up
took the
that hill.
defenses. There were big, strong people in the days, not like nowadays.
We
They
were
were big
talking
fellas.
about it before the show,
Wheelbarrow.
saying it's amazing how much it actually looks like the castle on the east coast. I can't remember the name of it, but the castles were so similarly built, except for one's for the east coast and one's for the west coast. But they were really
That's
similar.
right. But the place is really haunted, and I mean, obviously,
I'd
Lors
love to
is
keep a peek on the energy.
tell
Just
us
to
that. I
feel.
mean, did you experience anything else, Lors, or did you?
Did you
What was
see
it?
anything?
Did you see anything? Tell us.
I didn't see anything at the time, but here's the thing. A lot of times with me, I might feel certain things, and then it's not till I go home and I start looking through my pictures or whatever, or my phone, because it wasn't the fancy phones that I've got like now. It was a bit of a, well, it wasn't what I have now, so I couldn't get the same photographs and audio and everything that I get now, to the point where I'll have to dig them out. I've got photographs where there's a few things where I've been like, what the heck is that? I didn't see that at the time. You know, it's a beautiful place though as well. And like when I was there with my son, a lot of times, obviously I'm trying to keep my eye on him. He was fleeing away up the stairs ahead of me. And so it was more for me. I don't know this. I know a lot of my family members have had experiences there as well.
Right.
So I don't know if we're picking up on similar things or if we're picking up on different things.
It's that stone tape theory again, though, isn't
Yeah.
it? The land is just continual.
You think of the deaths at this place, and let's just go back to the very beginning here. In 13, I mean that's going back quite a bit, right? 1350, right? Start for there. You imagine the battles that raged there.
Yeah.
Imagine it.
With
claymores and the blood and the screaming and the sheer terror, because you've got to remember in the days there was no such thing as anaesthetic and that. So if you had to get your leg chopped off, you got your leg chopped off, right? And the same with arms and God knows what else. And a lot of people, what I was reading there, a lot of people in the battles got beheaded by cannonballs. So they'd be standing on the top of the castle, looking over with their thing, looking over, and a cannonball would come straight across and take the head off.
Do we know if it had one of those death pits that most castles have, where they just basically throw them down at the spikes?
It doesn't really get into where they're buried, but you've got to remember, it's see that Douglas Castle next to me. A lot of the people that were killed there were thrown either down old wells, or they just dug a hole and flung them all into it and then covered it up. So I bet you somewhere in that castle grounds, there's probably a big pile of bodies somewhere.
Will be.
Well, what's left of them.
If you look at that picture that you showed where the castle was standing up, there was actually the little village in front of it. So where did all those people go? They obviously had some sort of burial. You know, they obviously had a burial point.
If you look at this, right, if you look at this, you've got the wooden fence there, right? The wooden fence. Now, look at the wooden fence and keep that in your head, everybody. And then we'll go to the aerial photograph. Right, you see this flat bit of land in front of the moat? Right, that's where the villagers were. So what happened is, right, say that was the first line of defences was that wooden fort, right? And that wouldn't have lasted long. Right? You'd be lucky if it lasted maybe an hour, right? That would have fell down. But by that time, everybody that was in there would have fled across that bridge and into the castle, right? And they would have raised the drawbridge, right? So either would take that and then they'd be like, bugger, where do we go here? Because we can't come up the back end, right? But we can't get across the moat because I think it was filled then. I don't know what was in the moat then. I didn't look into that much, and then the doors were all
There
shut. Plus, if
probably
you
been
went
water. Yeah, it would probably
in,
would have been water.
you think about it, right? You think about it. Even if you made it to that moat, right? You think about the arrows hitting you.
You're getting a few up your butt.
See, I mean, you know what I would love to do is drop a magnet doing that.
So, Lars,
But you're
how
gonna be alone.
high is it when you're actually there? Is it really, really high when you're standing there looking? Is it
Yeah,
vast?
it is quite high, and it's quite. If you look, I don't know because I didn't go down. I think you can. I think there's a path where you can go down somewhere.
Right.
But if you're standing at the front looking out to the water, you see how high up you are, and then it's quite. I think in its day it was quite a tall, place.
Yeah, it looks tall, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At least seven stories before I'm counting with that.
Yeah.
About 7. So that's going to be quite a big castle.
It's actually shut now. I went to because I was going to go and maybe try and go to it next week, but it's actually closed. It was closed, and I was like, oh, because there's major work getting done to it or something. And it's the way the pictures are just spooky. Right? Can you imagine the security guard in that place?
The energy there must be that intense that the pictures and things you take are clear. I mean, two clear pictures like that on the one location, that's very rare.
I mean, look at him. He's sitting, he's
like
standing up there
down.
and he's looking down. I would say that was Tudor times. I would say that was about 15. I would say that was 15 something that. Cromwell times. I'm telling you. That's when that is. Because the war those MD in the chat that knows what the old fashioned clothing was called. You know?
Yeah, they're like ruffle things. I don't know the technical name for them.
I used to at the school I used to get into trouble because I used to call them air filters. But it's
definitely. I think the other one I thought was a soldier, but I really don't think he's a soldier. I think he's more royalty or something. It just doesn't give a soldier vibe.
Look how creepy that is, though.
He's just angry that you're there, you know?
Well, that part, I did research that part where that ghost, where that spirit was seen, you cannot get to unless you've got a ladder.
Yeah.
It's all said fenced off.
What do you think, guys? Is that a spooky picture?
What do you think, guys, in the chat?
I think a lot of that's been cordoned off now because when I was there, it looks more dilapidated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
right next to that sea, though. It's going to just crumble. I'm surprised it's lasted as long. I mean, that sea's treacherous.
It's when I looked it up, it says the place is shut until further notice because a severe subsidence. So obviously the walls are starting to.
Yeah, there's all that sea water, isn't sea air?
The other one is a weird one. Remember and share this out, guys. I really appreciate it. And I would like to say thank you to all the new subscribers too. I'm nearly at 2,000 subscribers now. And I would like to say thank you to everybody. That, I don't know what that is. That is just weird. I don't know what that is.
It looks like a soldier to me. See that bit?
It's like, do you not think it, right? I this is going to sound stupid. Do you not think it looks like a doll upside down?
A doll upside down?
I don't really know, Christopher, no.
It's like, right, see the wee arm sticking out. It's like a wee arm sticking out at the side of the wee boy standing. It's one of the most weirdest things I've ever seen.
Do they know that it's definitely legitimate?
Oh, it's legitimate, yeah, because seemingly it was done with a film camera, 1977.
Am I tripping, or is that like a shiny eye dog-looking thing next to that wee girl's leg?
I think it's maybe dust or something.
It's dust. It's dust because it's an old photograph. It's an old when the photographs used to get them, developed. The younger generation don't know about that anymore. But it's
a great picture. The two of them are so clear. I just It's maybe because they're red. They've got a lot of red and white in them or something, but they're just so clear. It's very rare for the one location.
It's
To me, it almost looks like looks like a man with long wavy hair and like a moustache or something. Or is
Yeah.
that just me?
No, it definitely looks as if he's got golden hair.
Yeah.
do you get what it looks like? And I ken this has got to sound stupid, right? Right, just honestly, right, it's maybe not that stupid, but do you think it looks like a suit of armour? Look at his head, the red bit.
Yeah.
You can see like the slots for his eyes. And then the white bit, I'm wondering if the white bit is the same as the other photo. It's what's round that person's neck. Unless he's got a wee set of legs.
Shoulders, though. That looks as if that's more in his shoulders than round his neck. It looks like one of those like rope things that meet in the middle, and it's just
that's what I was away to say.
Yeah.
The thing is, too, back in those days, there were a lot weirder in stature, and that if you look at the bars on the window, that's quite a short individual.
Yeah.
Unless it's a child, but I don't know with that kind of hair and stuff. Who knows?
They're very guardful, aren't they? I mean, that spirit looks very guardful of the castle. The other one looks guardful, and he looks very guardful.
Vision just looks downright creepy. I mean, look at that.
Yep.
You can see his features.
Yeah.
You can see his features and everything. I mean, it's oh my god. What do you think in the chat, guys? Which is our opinion? I mean,
he looks grumpy.
Why?
Mystical, Mystical loving letter, you picking up anything from them? They look angry, don't they?
I think it's like protective.
Yeah.
Do you know what he's wearing? Lors? And I don't know if you've seen it, Lors. Maybe you've seen it. Do you ever seen Blackadder?
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's as if he's wearing the black leather kind of top, right?
Yeah.
With that frill round his neck. That's what he looks like.
They're good to watch for your history, the Blackadders. They actually get it pretty spot on.
Did they? Honestly, he's I tell you, he looks pissed. But mind you, I'd be pissed too if I was stuck in a castle for eternity.
I do see if any of the psychics in the group get a feeling of them.
I'll go back to the chat. I'd just like to say thanks for everybody coming in. Christine, my mystical loving light, Phoenix, Visiting Adventures, thank you for coming in. Dobby Sock, everybody else that's watching from all around the place. We've actually got quite a lot of people watching us. Don't be shy to speak in the chat, guys. We've got 12 in Ghost Squad Scotland. We've got 1 Bald and Bonkers. We've got 9 through the Facebook pages, and we've got baldandbonkers.net coming through there too.
Chat to each other, guys. Know each other in the chat.
And honestly, guys, if you've got channels, please feel free to share your links to help yourselves grow. I know my Mystical Living Lights, you're getting close to 1,000 subscribers too. So let's get you there.
We will have that for Halloween. We will definitely have Mystical there for Halloween, guys. Everybody keep sharing her out, please. As well as Christopher.
I'm just reading the news article on that one, the one that was taken in 1970, but it's all these pop-ups keep coming up. You know.
Typical.
But it's quite 1977 it was. And they never noticed until obviously it was developed, because in the days they didn't have digital cameras.
Yeah.
It's just a weird one. We need
to take one of those cameras with us. They're in my chemist. I'll buy one. The ones that you actually snap developed. I'll bring one with us.
Aye, I've got there, but I was going to order some for that as a Polaroid.
Not even that as well. Both of them.
Is the Polaroid?
Remember we were saying about some of the spirits prefer the older way, so it may just be that we will have to use older stuff, older equipment, and older tools.
See what I mean? But you can't get to it.
Yeah, I can see that. So strange. What about the top one as well? Is that anything at the top ones? Did you focus on?
Well, I can't focus in anymore, but it's I could focus in a minute in a different photo. It's obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floors, and then obviously you've got the dungeons in it, which are sealed off. They're bricked off seemingly, and I bet you that's where the subsidence is coming from.
Yeah. They just don't like people at the castle. That's because of all the rivalry between the two brothers, I do believe they were. That's why they're regardful, isn't it?
It's just something about that one. It's like there's just it's so intelligent. If that was like the stone tape theory, right? Where it was just a spirit just passing time, I mean, because it's not really a spirit, it's just like a recording. You can see it's whatever that is, it's looking down, it's thinking, what is that guy doing there with that strange flashy thing?
Yep.
That's really curious, isn't it?
No. See, the story goes that it was an illegitimate son. Something came back to, and then that is why they had to split it because they didn't get on. That's why. So it makes you wonder if it even goes on to this day, the rivalry.
See where that guy's standing, and actually look this up, bring this photo up. See the square section next to the turret.
Yeah.
Right. See the square section with the drawbridge going across. See to the inside the castle, no, the outside of the moat, the inside, there's a small window.
Right.
That's the room where that guy's meant to be.
Oh
and
my!
There's no way really in there.
Yeah.
And here it is for here it's here, right? You can get to there, you can get in there, but you see how there's no upstairs.
There's no way the Scottish tourism
That's
would
where
let
that guy
you
is in the room. That
no chance.
Where that room is that you can't get to, that's where that guy is. That's where he's standing. He's standing inside there.
Wow.
You can't get to it. It's impossible.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, we can't see Christina or Sherry. They're saying in chat.
Huh?
Can't
He's
see
in
Christina
Go Squad
Sherry. They're in
Scotland.
chat. They must be talking in the group that they can't be seen.
I can see Christina. I can't see Sherry there. I had this problem last week, and I went in and I messaged YouTube, and they said they'd fixed it. And then she was in, and she commented, and she was in a couple of lives. I don't understand.
That's right,
Christine, I can see Christine. But I can't see Christina Day, and I can't see Sherry. That's a strange one. I can't do nothing the new guys until the end of the show because it means getting into
StreamYard's link.
I'll have to. I'll fix it after the show because it means me shutting the show down and restarting it again. I'm not want to do that because it's. So I wonder when the place will be open, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a well, Christopher.
Aye, that's what I said.
Well, I wonder if
a magnet doing it.
Like that.
I wonder how many folk have dropped magnets doing it.
Yeah.
But can you imagine it? All the tourists run about you, and you've got a fishing rod with a magnet on the end of it. That's weird. Why I can't see Sherry. It's a strange one. Why that keeps happening.
And she must be banned for the channel or something because I can't even see her on my chat, Chris.
See, that's the thing is, I went in, and there was no names in the band section in the channel. So I messaged YouTube, and they said they were having problems with certain accounts. And then the next day, I messaged Sherry, and she commented, and then she came into the live on Friday, and everything was fine. And everything was fine. So I don't know what's going on. I'll go back in again and look in a wee while. It's really annoying that.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely get Christine's fixed. I'll do that tomorrow. I've got a few.
It's not the mods that's doing it. Get what I mean? Because there's only a couple. I've only got a certain few mods now.
Or something. Or the bots.
It must be the bots. Make sure that you are coming to Go Squad Scotland channel though. Honestly, make sure you're talking through Go Squad Scotland channel, because sometimes if you're talking through other channels, it might not come through. Living Histories, Mysteries. That one photo kind of looks like an old woman. Here, I'll bring this up. let's see. Looks like an old woman. Here's a question: if a child dies in the castle, do they continue to care for the child forever as long as the time passes? That's an interesting one, isn't it?
Probably do, because the loyalty away back then, especially in castles and things, with the royals, was people dedicated themselves, didn't they? Because they had a somewhere to stay, they had a good hot meal, they were guaranteed that they were kind of looked after because they looked after the royal kids. So probably.
But here's an interesting thing, right? Like, say that soldier that gets head blown off, right? Maybe he relives that every day.
Probably.
He marches up, right? Stands at the turret, boom, his head comes off. He marches up, stands at the turret, boom, his head comes off. Hour and hour again.
Yeah.
Until he realises he's actually dead. See, that's the thing with that photo there, with that man that looks rather pissed, right? Maybe he doesn't care that he's dead. Maybe he's like stuck in a loop. And he maybe sees us. He maybe thinks we, the people that's taking pictures and stuff, are the spirits. See, the castle might look totally different to him. The castle might look completely like it was before it fell into disrepair. He might be able to walk from room to room, and there's furniture and there's a fire. And
you'll see him float across the sky like that. And that's him walking across the invisible.
See, that's a good point, right? A lot of people say that. Maybe that's how spirits see it, right? Say there's a house, right? On its left, it's 4 walls. It's all burnt down, right? But to the spirit, it's like a house. It's got furniture, it's got a roof, it's got a ceiling, it's got doors, it's got windows, it's got everything, right? But to you, it's obviously into disrepair and that, but to them, it's normal. And then when you're wandering about the house, because there's no walls, right? And you're walking through where there was walls, the spirit's always like, oh my God, there's an apparition walking.
Yep.
Get what I mean? Because you're walking through walls. But in
I
actual fact,
the one we caught up at, I always forget the name of that castle. The one we caught up the back, wherever it was. Craignethid? No, it wasn't Craignethid. The one we took Liam. Remember, we caught the spirit walking down the stairs and there was nothing there. It was just basically an open space.
What do you mean, Crawford Castle?
Tell there was one there before.
Crawford Castle.
Crawford, and you just see the shadow figure, kind of. You know it was walking downstairs.
It's like different realms. It's like we're in one realm, they're in a different realm, but we're all doing this. That makes sense.
Yeah, that man last night explained it really good on Mystical's channel. What was his name again? Cosmic Shaman. He explained it good about the way the different layers are, and it's true. You could be sitting here right now and you're really in a field in the way back in the 14th century. You know?
Well, there's living histories, mysteries. The soldier thing is a good question, Chris. We asked the question at Gettysburg. What would it be like for those 55,000, oh my God, soldiers to relive those 3 days of death after day forever?
Oh, that'd be crazy, isn't it?
It's like disasters. You think about Lockerbie. You think about Lockerbie, right? Do the people that maybe are trapped there have to relive the fact that the front end of the plane got exploded and fell off, and then they ploughed through a village over and over and over again? Where there's some spirits that the houses wiped out, that are in their houses, and they wake up to this noise, they're gone, and then it just happens hour and hour again.
It'd be a bit. You think it would be disrespectful to go somewhere like Lockerbie and do a little video? Yeah.
I wouldn't go there. I'd just like to welcome a new subscriber, Disco. Is it Tanya? Tanya.
Welcome, Disco Tanya.
Welcome to the channel. Thank you for subscribing to Ghost Squad Scotland. It's a bald and bonkers there. Gone mad. Yeah.
It's amazing as well how that castle looks near enough exactly the way the other one looks in the other coast. It shows you the architecture way back then, that all these were structured basically the same, and then it all changed because the artillery changed.
You think about it, we went for a period where all we used is bow and arrows and swords and axes, and then gunpowder was invented.
Wow.
And the cannon was invented. Castles became basically obsolete after the cannons were invented.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
I don't know if you ever seen the film, is it Kingdom of Heaven? You know, where they're trying to look after Jerusalem, right? And they're trying to capture it, and all they've got is men, swords, and arrows, right? Couldn't take it. Eventually, they managed to take it, right? Eventually, right? Killed thousands, right? But with cannons are different. Cannons can destroy walls, fortified walls.
Yep.
You know? And
then there's the fire and things with the arrows. They could use all that. It's just.
Of course, they used to pour hot oil. The birch tar, that's what they actually did. They actually collected birch tar and tar.
Yeah.
And they boiled it, they bubbled it and boiled it, and then they would pour it over the soldiers trying to knock the door down. And they would all get scalded and burnt. But not just for extra. They used to get an arrow and light it, and then fire the arrow at them, and they all burst into flames. Can you imagine how painful that must have been? With no painkillers in the days.
Brutal, very brutal in those times.
See, that's where the Highland Games. See, some of the games that they do at the Highland Games, like to do the shortcut and things where they have to swing it. I mean, that's generational. For way back in the stone throwing days, when some of these clans and things had like the top clans for throwing stones and things. I mean, Braveheart touches on it a little with the way they did defend herself with the throwing stones and things. That's a real thing, and that's where that Highland, I don't even know the name of it, that's where that Highland game comes from, is that type of era.
What's that? What's the Highland game? Right. Mysteries. What's the Highland game where they throw is it throwing the hammer? It's like it's a metal thing. It's like, oh my god, I'm Scottish and I don't know this. This is terrible.
Shot put.
Get this.
That's it.
Aye.
That's what the defence was as well, was throwing stones and things away back before some of these weaponry came.
I mean, everybody's seen Braveheart. Everybody's seen how the Scottish absolutely destroyed the English, right? And I can just fathom. I know there was battles at Douglas where I stay. I know there was terrible battles there, right? There was seemingly there was like 9,000 soldiers died in the space of an hour.
Have you got a picture of Douglas Castle handy?
No, I've not got one on the computer because I was taking them off, and everybody knows what Douglas Castle looks like.
I was just going to see if there was any like resemblance, but it's two different eras, isn't it?
Douglas Castle was differently designed. Douglas Castle was a square fort, right? Imagine a square fort with 4 turrets, right? What's that? Streamers Hangout. I'm backstage. He has banned me.
Oh, there were going to be another troll. Just ignore them. Don't even talk to them. So it's just will you just deal with that, please? It's amazing how some of these castles are different as well, and it's all because either where the land. I mean, the ones, of course, like that, they have to be defendable. But the ones like Douglas and things, they look more as if they were to contain like big armies or like the heads of armies and things, but it was like more like a residential castle. So it's amazing to see the different castle structures as well and what they were used for. I'm not a troll,
I'm trying to think who that was. The Streamers Hangout. I don't know who that was. Because there's so many different folk that come in. You know what I mean? There was somebody tried to join us on Friday night and they left a load of abuse in the chat.
Yeah, that's why we're defensive, because people were trying to join and we didn't know what their agenda was. So I'm sorry if it sounded rude. Please just text Christopher or something after the stream.
Oh no, they'll not get back in. I can't exactly who they were. You got to remember
that used to be overall energy there then, Lars. I know you do kind of reside up that area. What do you make of the overall area up that way?
Well, I live in West Lothian, so I'm quite a wee bit away from there. The closest castle to me is Blackness and Linlithgow Castle, a bit further up the way.
Right.
And Blackness Castle for me, wow, that place is crazy.
Right.
Really?
Oh yeah, you need to check that place out. When you get anywhere near that place, you'll see what I mean. It's there's a
What's it like inside it? Like, what's it like?
It's you can get into most of it actually now. It's there's once you get in the ground, you can also come out the side, and there's like a key going down to the water. So you can go right outside and see looking up as well. You can get really amazing photos and stuff. It's really, really, and it's right on the water too. So it's got a nickname. It looks like if you're looking at it, it looks like a ship. That's what it looks like.
Really?
Looks like a stone ship.
We'll need to do that. We'll look at that. You know,
Right, we'll need to do that one. Write that down. Write down its name. What's its name again? Write down its name.
Black Ness
Oh,
Castle.
Black Ness. I'll remember that. Either that.
Black Ness. Black Ness. I will need to do that one. There's that many places, but Scotland doesn't get the best.
Yeah.
So what kind of things have you seen up there then? Is it a little bit more different energy, that castle, to the one we're talking about tonight?
Again, it's a lot of it's very volatile, volatile. There was a heck of a lot went down there as well, but I mean, it's the same with a lot of places, really.
I think every castle's got that, though. I've said this before. You feel a certain sense of doom walking up to a lot of the castles. I think that's what it was because it was a place either having to go and beg for food a lot of the time, a place where you were going to be punished. It's got a lot of things could make you feel like that. The army's going up into, you know, it's always a crazy energy near castles, I feel.
But the best way to describe it is when you go there, just experience it for yourself, and you know exactly. As soon as you walk up there, you'll go, "Oh crap!"
Yeah,
that's the only way I can explain it.
I will need to go there. Do you know there's a place I would like to go, but getting to it is very, very difficult, and it's near the Forth Rail Bridge. You know what I'm talking about, didn't you?
Yeah.
There's a fort. There's a fort, and it was next to the Forth Rail Bridge, and I can't remember its name. And they say that place is spooky.
The island.
The island, aye. It was used as a fort.
Inchcombe. Is it Inchcombe?
Aye, that's it. Aye, that's it. And it was used in World War One. It was used in World War Two, but it was also used going back hundreds of years. And they say that place is, oh my God, they say that place is. Aye, I know people that work run about there.
Oh, do you know what we could do? We could hire one of those little camper vans and just start in one coast, going all the way up round. How long do you think that'd take? Maybe a week?
Well,
more
than that.
Just start on the east coast and working your way all up round Scotland. That will be amazing.
Aye. All right, everybody, start sending money.
A fundraiser.
We need £5 million. That should cover it, you know. Everything takes a lot of money. It's cool.
An old bus.
A price of fuel. Can you imagine what an old bus would you? I mean, obviously on Friday we're going to be talking about Ed and Elaine Warren, and they visited that castle. Remember that castle we done a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
Just remember, guys, see on Friday when we start, because I had a lot of problems downloading audio files, really problems, and I don't understand it because it played fine on my phone. It played fine on my iPad. And when I downloaded it on this, it wouldn't play. It just wouldn't play. And it was like, what's going on here? But I just downloaded pictures of Annabelle.
Oh my goodness, there's your answer, Chris.
I downloaded pictures. Just remember on Friday, guys, if you've got MD
bring
in the room that's
protection.
underage, if you've got MD in the room that's underage or that, don't let them watch this because it's kind of Annabelle and all that's kind of, what's the word? Scary.
Yeah.
Plus, we all know the stories of Annabelle. We all know the stories
For the
of
ones that's maybe not spiritually aware, just sitting before we go live, just envision yourself in a little bubble and things. We will do a reminder before we go live. Well, as we go live, to remind you to put your protection up because these things can come through the live streams. It's been proven over and over again.
You know where I picked up the most energy from, but you can't really go there now. It used to be beside where I used to live. a few years ago was called Bangor Village Hospital.
That's somewhere.
Yeah, it's beside a small village called Dechmont, and that place was absolutely nuts. And the thing is, too, with there, I've actually got photographs from that place. You can't really go in it now. They've made it into like an eco village, and they're building houses, and they've knocked some of the buildings down and that, and you can't really go there now.
Right.
But that I've got photographs. I'll need to dig them out. I looked through a keyhole in an old boiler room, and I caught a guy. I took 3 photos. Nothing in the first 2. The third photograph, I was like, what the heck? Where did he come from? All in black, bald head, just looking back at me. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
I've got
That's the one we seen at that old mansion. We didn't see it until, I think it was Lewis pointed it out. He was staring at you.
Aye.
It's crazy when that happens, isn't it?
It was actually Lewis. He's really good with computers and that. If you're watching, Lewis, thank you. Remember that ghost that I caught at Carmichael House up in the top tower? I mean, that was
crazy.
That was.
Did you feel it at the time?
The first building I went into felt really depressing. I kind of sound stupid. It was near Halloween. It was only like 3 days away from Halloween, and it felt really depressing. It felt really weird. You ever go somewhere and somebody doesn't like you, and you ken they don't like you, and they're watching you, and you ken they're watching you.
Yeah,
it's a terrible feeling. That's what I felt, but there was nobody there. There was nobody there. I seen the guy in his tractor cutting the grass because he told me to go in. He says it's fine. Went in.
You obviously did feel it then.
Aye. And I was out taking snap with the phone, taking photos everywhere. And then I went into the next building, it felt fine. It felt absolutely fine. But that place will need to go back to Carmichael House, you know. And
I
maybe
think for my gran to be the one to come to protect me, because I did smell the, what do you call it? Do you know what? For my gran to turn up, it must have been something bad, I think. No bad, but maybe different. You know, because I've never had my gran turn up before. Honeysuckle, I've never had my gran turn up before or feel her around me before in an investigation. So that was strange that she was making herself known that she was here beside me. I wonder why that was.
For anybody watching these videos and you want to start doing this kind of live streaming stuff, talking about this kind of stuff, you have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Folk are like, aye, but you're in your house, nothing can happen to you. Just showing some pictures and stuff. Like, I've been doing this for a good 3-4 years now, and I don't know. There's just sometimes it feels odd. See, when you go out, I can feel it. I have got protection. I have got guides with me, and I kind of have.
Yeah.
And it was quite interesting because see in Bald and Bonkers, we had that medium on the other night last week. I don't know if you've watched that or not. And she's sitting before the start of the show, and she's like, "Listen, I don't want to say nothing. You can find my house is haunted, and you can about my ghost Robert, right?" And she says, "I don't want to say nothing, but there's a man standing behind you, you know."
That's just Robert.
And he's poking at the lights. He's poking at the lights, right? And I'm like, why? He's worried the lights will catch on fire. And I says, oh, they're LEDs. They'll not catch on fire. They're LEDs. He says, that's why he hangs around about you, because he's feared that you're going to burst into flames. And then she went, and this is no a joke, she went, oh, he came from the farm behind your house. There's a farm right behind me. And years ago in the 16th century, he said he was killed there because of a fire. And I went and asked somebody at the local estate, and there was a fire, and there was somebody died there. And that's why, and there's no way she could have known that. There's no way she could, and it just shows you. It just shows you, you know. What's that? My mystical loving light, Drew, come pick me up when you make your rounds to the castle.
I'll be there.
do you know that's something we should do when we go maybe up north to castles and stuff like that? We could take a lucky subscriber with us, you know.
Of course, you can come with us as well.
If you
yeah,
you know.
I'm originally from the northeast coast. You see, I grew up in the northeast coast.
Yes.
I grew up in a little fishing village.
What was the name of the fishing village?
The sea. You like to go to
the area I came from was called Ferry Den, which is across from the town of Montrose.
Right. That's weird,
So
that, because I've got relations at State
I was
Montrose.
just about to say to you, do you have any relations up the northeast coast?
I know people. I had no anymore, but Montrose, there was people I know who lived there a long time ago.
Montrose,
See, my grandmother, from my mother's side, she was born in 1913 on a farm in a place called Curry. You know where Curry is, didn't you?
Yeah.
And she had, well, what was it now? 4 sisters and 5 brothers, right?
Wow.
And some of them fought in World War I and stuff like that. But her relations, I ken they came from Montrose.
Right.
Which is strange. I think everybody in Scotland's related, to be purely honest with you.
I think so.
I think everybody in Scotland's related. I do like the Highlands of Scotland. There's something about the beautiful castles, and see with Neil Story how he was talking, because Neil Story invited me and Drew to go with him up to Port Gordon. You ever been there, Lord? Port Gordon? I've never been. It's 4 hours and 59 minutes from my house. I don't know why they're going to just said 5 hours. Using the Google Maps for my house. And he wants us to film him walking off the beach to the train station. I think that'll be absolutely amazing.
I can't wait.
Well,
I'm honoured.
Where my house was, I lived right on the end of a road going towards a lighthouse, an old lighthouse. And years ago, you used to be able to drive down it. And then when I was about, I don't know, maybe my late teens, early teens, they cordoned it off with balustrades, so you can only walk down it now. Yeah. And I used to walk down that road when I was young, and there was big, massive rock pools. I used to paddle my feet in the rock pools. Yeah. I used to go swimming there up the back, and some of my relatives that live abroad were like, "You're nuts! It's the North Sea."
I just love it.
I can't folk that go swimming. See during the winter, see that -5 and all that, -10 we had. I know people that went swimming in the river.
Supposed to be good for your circulation or something. Doing that.
Up in the Mennick Pass, up behind me, you know the Mennick Pass, how it's awfully beautiful up there. That's where they went and all the water up there.
They do that up the Forth as well sometimes.
I see the new Forth Road Bridge is finished now. I need to go and see that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would like to talk about one night? Is it the Tay Bridge disaster?
Oh yeah,
you know, with the train.
For me, yeah.
We need to do more history things like that.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking before the show as well. We'll start doing a couple of history things.
I'm actually working on a guy who works in a university in Edinburgh to come on to talk about some stuff, so that might be quite interesting. You know, so we've actually got Bishop Brian coming on hopefully next month.
What we could get as well, maybe even closer to when Neil comes, is try and get those 2 ladies for the Edinburgh University that did all that research in the witch trials.
That'd be quite interesting. I'll see about that.
And get them.
As people will say, I've got the gift of the gab. I'll send the people emails.
It's that wee face, isn't it, guys? You can't even resist it.
Pick me, I'm in 2 ladies, Christine. Christine has to come back with, would you call it, Australia? You know?
Yeah.
You know?
We would if we could, honestly, we would if we could.
We would if we could.
Doctor Who TARDIS and you'll be fine.
We'll need to go live if we can, let everybody experience it. That's what we're pointing going will be, right? We'll try and go live at least for 10 minutes to let you see these places as we experience them.
Just wait to Friday, because before the show I was showing Drew some of the video clips that I've got. The Enfield Poltergeist. And I've got the voice recordings where the little girls are getting possessed. I've got no video, but I've got all the videotapes. I downloaded them. I never bothered uploading them. I don't know why. Again, it's paranormal, and I was going to play it there, but then I thought, no, I'll leave that till Friday, because there's so much that Amityville Horror House. We've got Annabelle the doll. We've got the Enfield poltergeist.
Remember,
We've got, oh my God.
A little bit longer, guys. It might Friday. It might go a wee bit longer.
We might start early. We might start 10 minutes early.
Yeah.
You know, we might start at 10 because it's just a lot to go through. And honestly, I think it's been a great night tonight. I would like to thank you, Lors, for coming on. And Drew, Lors, I'll talk to you behind the scenes after the show. And everybody in the chat, thank you for coming. And we'll catch you all later. And remember, hit that subscribe button. And remember, Friday, stay spooky. Catch you later, dudes.
See you soon.
Thank you for joining us on this exciting adventure with Ghost Squad Scotland. Our team of experienced ghost hunters use the latest technology to explore the paranormal and uncover the truth about the unknown. Don't forget that we're affiliated with Spirit Shack, the UK's premier ghost hunting equipment store, so you can trust our equipment to be top-notch. Plus, we have exclusive Ghost Squad Scotland merch available on our Zazzle store, so you can show your support for the team in style. And if you can't get enough of our ghost hunting adventures, be sure to tune into the Bald and Bonkers TV network to catch our show in action. Content creators can even have their own content syndicated on the network, or create their own custom online TV channel by visiting baldandbonkers.net. Thank you for your support. And remember to always keep an open mind as we continue to explore the mystery